just a walk around of the quad and go over accessories and stuff like that I didn't really go over with you guys when I went over the plow. I'm not gonna really talk much about the plow today. I want to try to save some time and knock this out in 5 minutes if I could. Alright, let's start over here in the back. I have this light right here is by Polaris. It is 2100 lumens, and I have it set up. It's not tied in with my reverse. It's only, I have a switch to it. I have a switch for it, so I just use it when I'm plowing, and I just keep it on the whole time. Okay, this plug right here we're gonna go over later on, and what do you call it? This little storage box right here. This is made by Polaris. I just have like, just first aid and flat tire repair and like a little light. Just odds and ends in there. Nothing crazy. These lights right here. That's one light right there. It's an LED. I have them on each fender, and I have two on the other side. They're orange. When you turn them on, they're orange, and they amber, and they have like 18 different patterns. And I don't want to say the brand yet because I'm having a little bit of an issue with them, and they're not too helpful, so I don't want to advertise for them. So let me see how this works out. But pretty much how it works is, I'm gonna take this off too. These power meds in a minute to show you something. But actually, let's do it right now. I made this up, right? This is just another box I made it out of a gang box. Let's see. And this I'll go over later. And this turns on those lights. Let's see, like right there. Okay. Okay, so that is the power. And that is a momentary switch. So when I hit that switch, the light pattern changes. Now they're supposed to all change in sync. So in other words, if you have these lights on steady, and then you hit that momentary switch, it would go to the next setting, which would in this case, it would be like blinking back and forth. What happens is they keep falling out of sync. These two will be steady, the other three will be blinking, flashing, and then you hit it again. These two will be flashing, the other two will be blinking. It's just not working the way it's supposed to work, and it is wired correctly. I actually rewired it 3 times, and it's still doing the same thing. So I'm trying to see where the issue is, and I'm waiting on a response. So when that goes, when that is handled, I'll get back to you guys and let you know. Polaris grips, ratcheting grips. Colpin makes them in Polaris. I don't know if Colpin makes them for Polaris, because they're like pretty much exactly the same. They work pretty good. I like them. This seat right here, it was on the old 850s and 1000s. Now it's on all the models, all the Tourings. It's on the 570s too. It's too stiff. It definitely looks nicer, and it supports you a little bit better, but it's like rigid. And the seat on my old 570, the Touring, was a lot softer, and this one, when you're on like really, really bumpy trails, you actually get nauseous if you're sitting in the back. No joke. Like me and my friend, we were both like, if you're the passenger, you're fucking nauseous. You get nauseous. So the other seat, it was softer, and you weren't bouncing back and forth as much because the foam was absorbing all of that. Well, you were in the foam, and it was just felt a lot better. So yeah, this looks better. It's more ergonomic, and it's more styled more for today. But not a big fan of it. Not a big fan. Okay, let me continue the way I was going. Ratcheting, we got that. I put hand warmers on just these are warmed. The insides, this one and this one. This is actually the piece underneath there, and it actually doesn't work well. So if you're thinking about doing it, don't do it. They get slightly they get hot if you take this thing off and you feel the actual warmer. It gets hot, it'll burn you. But once you put this thick piece of plastic on, it just, you know, buffers a lot of that heat, and it just doesn't work that good, you know. So I don't know, it's just not my favorite thing. I wish they could do something a little bit better. I mean, you could always get hand warmers that I have on the front that go underneath the grips and just wrap them around here and then use some tape. It'll look a little grimy, you know, it won't look flush, but you could do something like that. I'm thinking about doing something like that. Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm limited on time here, so I'm already at 6 minutes. Polaris mirrors. These are just blind spot mirrors I picked up at the store. These mirrors are useless without the blind spot mirrors, because when you're in a lane and you want to change lanes, you know, you still got to turn your head. With these, you don't have to turn your head. These things, I don't like them. I only got these to get these, so that's that. Power mat, Gauntlet X they call them or something. This is just keeps the wind out. Nice big opening. You can see how much room I have in there. Thumb, throttle, you're good. Just keeps the wind out when I'm going from location to location when I'm plowing. And I actually haven't used it in the trails yet. So, what else? I got a horn up front. I got this switch is from my backlight that I showed you already, and this switch, this one, is for this light. This is made by Rigid. This is fucking awesome. I love this light. This light is perfect because when the plow blade lifts, that's my light to give me light on the path ahead of me, because these awesome lights by Heretic Studios are covered. All they do is hit the back of the blade, you know. So I had to get something. So this is it, and it's just amazing. This mount is made by a company called Ram. They are fucking awesome. I have 3 Ram mounts, and forget it. Absolutely love it. Really, really good. You just turn this right here, and it loosens up the ball joint here, and it loosens up this ball joint, and I can control. Let me just do it real quick. Okay, so right here I just loosen this, and I can move this any which way I want. So if something happens and I'm working on the quad, if I'm doing some shoveling, I could position this anywhere, and all I gotta do is loosen this and have light anywhere I need it. It's fucking awesome. I love this thing. All right. Heretic Studios, these things are awesome. Oh man, I love them. Actually, there's no halo in this one. I had to replace it. So that one, there's a halo in. Let me turn it on. I'll show you. That's like a daytime running lamp. It always stays on. And like I said, this one I just replaced it. I didn't get a chance to put them in yet. This is just a PVC pipe. Home Depot primed it, painted it, hammered steel or something to make it look like it belongs on the quad, you know. It's pretty cool because it gives you that like 2 inches or so lift, so it makes this sit even higher as opposed to it being straight across, so it works out good. This mount right here is also Ram. This is all Ram, okay? Okay, like I showed you in my first video, this winch I just have tied up to the front just so I can access it, because once it's in here and you're plowing snow, that's caked up with packed snow and ice. You can't access your hook if you need it, and that's what this is too. This webbing right here. I have this webbing attached to a carabiner, and the carabiner is attached to the tow hook. And if I ever need to be pulled out, if my winch ain't working, whatever, all somebody has to do is pull on this, and pretty much what they're doing is pulling on the tow hook. So it's and I needed it too, because I actually got stuck when I was plowing, and I had to get through this 3-foot fucking plowed spot, and I got stuck. My undercarriage was on it, and my four wheels were spinning. I had nothing, and winch was useless because I didn't have anything to attach it to in front of me. I couldn't run it across a busy street in Brooklyn and have a car come by and crash into the line. So I actually had to call my friend that was 2 blocks away, and he was clearing another parking lot out, and he just pulled in front of me, and I attached the winch to the back of his truck. And but it could have also, if the winch wasn't working, I could have had him just pull on this with his truck or whatever. I want to get a winch for the plow eventually. I want to get a winch for the back eventually, but probably not until next winter, because they're expensive. Could also use this in the back. You could just run it right over the quad itself. I mean, if you have to, you can't go underneath because you'll be stuck. You could go over the top. You just gotta make sure that you don't burn and scratch up everything that the line is leaning on. I mean, that's like a last resort, but it would work. Stock tires, stock rims, not changing them. What else do I have here? Let me just show you what's in here. This is pretty much for the winter. I have it set up for all keeping warm and keeping dry. That's what it is in here. And then let me go on the other side. 2 pairs of gloves, heavy duty gloves that you can use the controls with, because when you're plowing, you can't go too thick with gloves because you got to feel controls, and you can't go light because when you're moving from one spot to another, you got to be warm. So these are like an in-between cards and Field and Streams. Really good. I love them. 2 pairs of goggles, anti-fog. Anti-fog works. It don't work. It's like kind of half-half. Just tools, random tools for emergencies, whatever. Here's my other RAM mount I was telling you about. Haven't found a reason for this one yet, because this is a small one for my GoPro, and I'm not really using. I'm still using my old one, my old mount yet. Just face warmers and stuff like that. Battery jumper, and that's it for this compartment. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna take this off. Actually, I don't have to take it off. You can definitely see in there. This is my voltage meter right here. Okay. This top one where it says main, that's for my primary battery, and the bottom one is for my secondary battery, which is back there. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay, that's my secondary battery, and that's gonna be what I have on that battery is these lights, this light, the front light, the plow light that I showed you before, and the horn. I have eventually when I put the winch on it, I'm gonna have that on it. What else? I think that's it. Oh, and I have these lights I didn't show you yet. I gotta hook up my cargo thing, and I'll show you. And that's another thing. That's on that battery. Okay. And that just tells you how much juice you have in the batteries. And pretty much how it works is when, I mean, so many people did videos on this, but I'll say it anyway real quick. When I think it's 13.6, when the primary battery reaches 13.6, then the system says, okay, that's sufficient enough, and then the juice starts charging my back battery, my primary battery. When this drops less than I forget the exact numbers. When this drops like less than 12.6 or 12.4 or something, then the back battery stops receiving a charge, and now the system charges the primary battery again. The main purpose of the isolator is to always keep juice on that primary battery, so you have so you won't get stuck. And on the primary battery, I have, just shut that. On the primary battery, I have the plow, the winch, low beams, and high beams. So those are all my things that I absolutely need. I can't be stuck. I can't break down. I don't want the plow to not have juice, so I have that on the primary battery, and I know that's never going to die. And that's how that's worked out. It actually works out pretty good. I did like 3 storms already with it, and it's working awesome. This I just keep water in or coffee, depending on the season or whatever. It's a Yeti container. I love it. It's awesome. This holds my phone. If I don't want to keep my phone in my pocket, if I'm using like GPS, that holds my phone. It's a case by Quad Lock, and there's Lex. And this is you just push on this and then twist, and then it comes off. And this rain thing is called a poncho that just protects it from rain. Protects the phone from rain. Thumb warmer. Can't see it, but it's in there. Could you see it? Yeah. Thumb warmer is in there. On this side. Back over to this side. This is my plow controls. Up, down, left, right. Winch. This right here is for the LEDs. I have LED strips. They're underneath all the fenders. Can you see it right there? Right there. I got one under here too. They go through like I think 12 different colors or something. I'm not even gonna put them on now because you can't see it. It's daytime, but pretty cool. Who makes them? LED Glow. Really good company. And that's it as far as the whole quad goes. Let me put on the cargo carrier, and I'll show you how that system works out. Alright, so here's my back setup, right? Cargo carrier is from Cabela's. I have it plugged into a 2-inch adapter because the quad has it's got that little fucking baby hitch, and then I have these 2 Yeti buckets strapped down with these locking like ratcheting carabiners. Okay, I don't normally keep all these tools and stuff in here when I'm out. Right now it's in my garage. That's how it's set up. I'm just showing you guys. I didn't feel like emptying it. So I have it like this, and then inside of these buckets, I put 2 of those yellow buckets in the back. Those are filled with bulk salt. Okay, and I put 2 of those in here, and so that I don't like to put the salt directly in here because then it's difficult to remove these when I want to walk with the bucket if I want to salt someone's property real quick, because this gets caked up with snow and ice and you can't undo it. So what I do is I just take the yellow bucket and I lift it right out of here. So these are pretty much what I'm using these for, is just to hold the yellow buckets on, because when you're salting, it's just easier to take the thing off and work with it in your hand as opposed to keep going back into here and going like this. A quick salting, you can do it like that, but when you got like a bigger area, you got to hold the bucket. And like I said, I tried it both ways, and this for me, this is what works. And then I have another light here made by Polaris, and I actually don't like Polaris lights. They suck. I'll never get them again. These I got a few years ago. These are old. These are from my last quad. Expensive. They're not bright. They just don't like them. And another RAM mount right here. This is a shorty. So yeah, getting back to the lights. Next winter I'm going to replace that one and replace this one, both with rigid, and then I'll be good to go. And that light control is right here. And this just gives me light when I'm plowing and I want some light, when I'm going in reverse and stuff like that. I just need a little bit extra light. So I have that I could direct. This one stays where it is. I can move it up and down, but it's a pain because you gotta loosen it with a nut. This one has just got that dial that I showed you before, like on the front. So this is the setup, and I'll save yourself the question of why don't I just get like a Jeep or even a UTV where you can be enclosed, as a few people have asked me that, and you can be nice and warm with the heat on. And it pretty much comes down to space. they're just too big. And right now, this position. I forget the numbers on it, but this is the narrowest this plow goes. And as of now, I already have one customer I can't do because this is too big. Because I do a lot of sidewalks, and I can't get down this one full sidewalk because this is just too wide. And I tried squeezing, and it just doesn't work. I got through a little section of it, but you can't do it. So this is it, man. The quad is, I think, 48.5. The width of the quad's not the problem; it's the plow. If you want to go heavy duty plow, you gotta go with this is the smallest thing you can get, which is, see, the numbers Boss gives you are accurate because Boss measures from that edge to that edge. They measure the actual blade, the red part. They don't measure the curb finder, which comes standard, and you got to add like another 2 inches or so. So I think they have this at, don't quote me on the numbers, I think they have it at 58, and it's not. Actually, you know what? I have them written down right now, and they're in my phone, and I'll give them to you. No, it's not that one. Anyway, I'll find it. I'll find the exact measurements from. The sun is killing us. Exact measurements from curb finder to curb finder. What else? Oh yeah, so just like if I go with a Rangers are too wide, you know. They're just too wide, and it's just not going to work for my application. What I do is I do mostly sidewalks, and I do small parking lots, like I guess in between 10 and 20 spot parking lots, you know. So the parking lots I could go bigger with, but as far as all the sidewalks go, this is it. I can't go wider, so that's why I don't go wider than this. One more thing I wanted to go over, I didn't go over. This is a GoPro mount that I keep right here on the handlebar, on the mirror, which is good because this is the view. I mean, I got the GoPro right now, right next to me, so this is pretty much the view you're gonna get. So you get the a little bit of the plow, so you can see what's going on, and then you see the whole road. So this is pretty good. Underneath this, if anybody wants to do the same thing, you just pull this rubber piece down. You got to use some electrical tape, and pretty much what you're doing is taping up this thing. You're making it solid, and then you put this thing back on top, slide it back up, then this clamps down. If you don't do the electrical tape, this is not going to be biting down onto anything, so you got to like build up this in between here. And there was one more thing I wanted to, oh, I don't know if I say it, I got hand warmers on here too. They work intermittently. They just I think they get hot, and then they turn off automatically, like kind of like how the back braces, the warmers that you use for your back, you know, like they go on and off. It's like a safety thing. I think these things do it the same. You know, they don't really they get really hot, but they don't stay warm throughout the whole time, which bothers me. I have a heated steering wheel in my truck. It consistently stays warm. These go on and off. So anybody else that has the same issue, let me know. These are made by Polaris. And what I'm thinking about doing is just taking them off and getting just maybe a different company, maybe somebody that makes a better one or something. But let me know anybody else that has the same issues. I'm curious. All right, guys. Until next time. I forgot to talk about the slip-on muffler I got from Big Gun. It's just a slip-on. It doesn't go any further. I felt there was no need to go the whole way. I just did it for the sound. I'm not looking for more horsepower or anything like that. I felt it was good, so that's it. That's where it ends, and that's all stock right there. And actually, let me start it real quick so you can hear it. guys, I want to mention one more thing. Yesterday when I made this clip, I pointed to the curb finder and I said we measure from the outer edge right there to the other side, and I gave you the measurements. That's correct and all, but I wanted to say something too. When you put it in scoop, let me show you what happens. I just realized this too. See what happens? You can't even go to this edge. You actually have to go to that edge because that's the widest part. That's actually what's going to be stopping you from getting down certain paths. So when you measure from that to the other one, that's the measurement that I'm giving you. These are the true measurements. All right. Okay, in V, 61.5. Okay, so their numbers are completely wrong. So you see, V is actually the narrowest, not scoop, how Boss says. So V is your narrowest position. Anyway, that's it. Guys, please, any questions, ask away. Anything you want to see, any videos, anything specific. Maybe one day I'll go over the wiring with you. The wiring's crazy on this quad. It looks like a mess under here. This is where this whole thing is loaded. It's ridiculous. It actually looks ridiculous. But maybe one day I'll go over that with you. I don't know. We'll see. But hit me up if anything. All right, guys? Thanks for looking.